Um,
This meeting is being recorded.
This meeting is being recorded. So
welcome.
funny every time.
I know. Welcome to our empowerment session. Today is a follow-up to Monday's lesson. The lesson that Milan taught, and I'm going to hand it over to him to give us a recap.
So as I pull this back up for the 12th time, just a second. But yeah, the one that we did was about harvesting the good, looking back at our failures and not looking at it as times where we messed up, but just like times where we put our effort into something that didn't work out. And that's fine. That's really acknowledging that we always had the power the whole time. And as soon as we make certain tweaks about things, then we can get back on that path that really serves us. And that sometimes the most difficult part is not being our own obstacle. And as soon as we stop being our own obstacle, then we can move really swiftly in the direction that we want. And one of the fastest ways to do that is to just pause for a second and choose what thoughts, what emotions, what feelings do I want in my life, and then go for those things. And when it gets tough, using your imagination to see those things, like when you stop and just think, okay, if everything works out, what's one of those instances that'll play out? Like, okay, cool. And you can grab hold of that and really start to get back to a really good and really powerful place.
Yeah. And that's the biggest thing, is getting ourselves out of the way.
Yeah.
And to harvest the good that I know is already within my mind. I had some challenges. I did discuss that on Monday, and I've gotten over them through the major inspirational boost from my mentors. Jenna touched not really a nerve, but touched good when she said it was okay for me to give myself some grace. And then along with what you talked about was the persistency and to keep going. And I had kind of slowed down into a sluggish and didn't keep going. So once I, got that rejuvenation from you guys, I went on and I completed the day. I got tasks done. I got things sent back a couple of days in advance. And I know when they get stuff back early from me, they were like, oh, she back on it. She back on it. So I've done my first proof and I got my second proof today, and it's absolutely fabulous. This book is going to look so good and so nice thanks to my illustrator. And I've joined the Hazmark Base Camp, I think it's called, where I can go in and see if I got any messages or whatever. And that's what I have to remember to do. And I need to set timers on my phone to say, check emails, because sometimes I don't get to them till at night, after work, or I'm doing so much when the kids are sleeping or whatever, trying to get other life stuff done. So, I got a couple of emails today. I went over my second proof. Everything looks great. My husband helped a lot with my action sheet where I had to change things because I wasn't, yeah, I was getting ready to freak out a little bit. And I was like, no, just stay calm. And, Michael would say something and I'm like, that's not what. And then, he'd get his panties in a bunch and go, well, and I go, hey, okay, listen up right now. This moment, it's about me. Go put your feelings on the couch. And if I snap, and if I say, wait a minute, I'm not understanding what you're saying, but I need to correct this, then you need to say, okay, honey, let me explain it to you another way. And once he realized that, we went through my action sheet, made all our corrections. He put in his opinion on, I need a period here or a comma here, and we got it all done. And I got it typed in and I sit back. And the next morning I was like, hey, Terry, thanks for getting those back to me right away. Success. But I had to let him know, this is where I am. I need you to be a help, not an obstacle. And I don't mind getting up in your stuff when I'm trying to get this done, because I don't want to freak out about it by not getting it back on time. So it worked out good. We got it done and we're still happily married and all that good stuff. It's kind of like doing repairs in a house. Who knew? Who knew publishing a book was so much work?
Yeah. You think like, oh yeah, I write a story and then they put a cover on it and then we press play and then everybody
Right, they
buys it.
put it on some pages and they said written by, illustrated by. Here, it's going to be at this store, this store, this store, and this store. I just show up and sign or read, and it's not, but I'm learning. I'm learning. It's for my betterment. It's improving me. And I can do this.
Yeah, one of
I'm
the great things about pursuing greatness is that it does take a lot of effort and energy. But when you do that and you're in that process, you realize that it's not all your effort and it's not all your energy. There's so many
right.
more people involved in it, and that's when it becomes exponential, when it becomes so much more people and much more energy. But when you're
It's
all on the same page, that's when it's like, oh yeah, well, this is great. Hey, look, we build pyramids. Hey, look, we
yeah.
fly. Hey, look, we wrote these amazing books that changed everybody's life.
Yeah, I did my promos Monday evening at 2, where I was recorded with answering my questions, my prep page, I think it's what it was called. And they sent me the questions first and they asked me the questions. And I had Dad and Anderson turn their stuff off in the living room, so Octonauts wouldn't be in the background. And she was like, well, it might work out okay because we are talking about a children's book. So to hear children's stuff in the background, I'm like, I'd prefer we're not creature report. I really didn't want that in the background. So Dad said I sounded a little nervous on the first question, but then I just kind of mellowed out and I was myself. I'm learning to cut it short because me, Milan, I could talk forever. So
Well, too, like, when things matter to us, like we want to over explain, and make sure that they get it. But what I found was I heard it from a really prolific writer from centuries ago that said, sorry, my book was so long. If I had more time, I would have made it shorter. It's like it's you know, sometimes you have what you have, and like when you get into it, then you realize that like, okay, I can slow things down, I can control this cadence, I can just go with it.
right.
And
I
part of
thought
it in
I
the
was
beginning
talking the
too,
whole
just nerves.
What'd you say, Celine?
I thought I was talking the whole time, but I wasn't. I mean, I was, but you couldn't hear me.
See, we're
I
not
was like,
perfect either.
I was like, why are they ignoring me? Okay, blonde moment. But I did want to add a couple of things. One is I'm glad that you asked for what you needed. It's important to communicate your needs, your wants, your desires, because the other person can't read your mind. And that's
No.
what, I forget. My partner can't read my mind. I have to speak my desires, what I need, what I want. And clear.
And then once I did that, it worked out totally fine. And we went through it. It was smooth. And he would say, no, you need to backspace that because look at what you wrote it out wrong. That's not what you said you wanted to write. And it worked out really good. But I had to get that on the table because little things that he was trying to help me do, which was for the good, was starting to irritate me. So I had to say, wait, and then he's like, I'm sorry, I'm just getting so excited. It's real now. I was like, it's been real since December. But now with all the deadlines and the paperwork and the,
Well, yeah, and
something I
now
should
you can see it, now it's like
right.
stuff. It's like, ooh,
It's
Yeah.
on
stuff.
paper. It's thoughts becoming things, like physical things now. When you write
Yes.
it, it's a thing. It's alive. It's out,
And I
out of
was
your brain.
so glad that Michael was there with me because he was seeing the stuff that I wasn't seeing because I was so nervous about that first proofread and that they had put the wording in 2 places and it only went in 1. Like, talk to me, Mom, about the smile on your face. They had put that on the little boy smiling, which was talk to me, Mom, about the sun on my face, and so they had gotten them switched up. So I switched those out and I got my second proof back tonight and everything is great and we're good to go. I just have that stuff that they gave me the other day for my branding and I'm not sure that I have to send some of this back, but it's like, my cover sheet and this just other stuff that's going to go on my website and I need Milan's help for that.
And it's important to keep your mind clear, right? It's like, just deal with what's right in front of you,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
One,
And I quit trying to deal with it during the day when I was working because I couldn't.
right.
Yeah.
You can't split your mind with the kids and trying to do this and trying to do, you need the quiet time dedicated to you sitting down and just following the step by step process.
Yeah.
I'm sure everything's laid out in a nice format somewhere. So just going to that and just breathing. You can take your cup of tea with you or coffee, whatever you drink, your very delicious drink from Monday, full of nutritious.
That definitely boosted my energy for the week.
Some more of that, and just take it one step at a time and one breath at a time, and not get overwhelmed, because it's very easy to be overwhelmed.
Yeah. And that's where I was. I was overwhelmed. And then once I breathed, explained myself, and Michael and I were on the same page, because I was numbering the pages 1, 2, 3, just from the prints that I had. But Michael said, wait, these pages have little numbers in the corners of them. So we had to go back and redo that. It wasn't page 1, it was actually page 5. And it wasn't page 7, it was actually page 9. And so we got it all done, and it was great. And I'm starting to see it in book form. No, this way, in book form. I'm starting to see it now to where I actually have it, and looking at what was sent back today from that second draft. But had I not had that meeting that my body was trying to tell me not to do on Monday with you guys, I wouldn't have been able to calm myself down and get to it. And I did. I think I took so many deep breaths and meditative thoughts and calming thoughts and breath that is like, I felt like I was on Star Trek or something, and I could see the time warp continuum, because every time I breathed in deep, it was like the room went, oh, Michael's like, why are you breathing so hard? Do you need your inhaler? But I was just like,
yeah. And that reminds me of something that I heard recently. There's a social psychologist that teaches at Harvard, Jordan Peterson, and he said that it took him 30 years to realize, but he learned it once he started getting out there in the public and being on tour, is that there's so much potential locked into your genetic code. But it's not until you're introduced to new stressful situations and the parameters of those situations unlock new abilities inside of us.
Yeah, that
Yes.
reminds me of this rule that whatever you need shows up right when you need it. That God, universe sends it to you right when you need it. But it takes action. If you just stay in the comfort zone and don't take action, nothing's going to show up for you.
Nothing's going to change. If I hadn't set forth to complete those goals and get that work done, it would not have. And I would have still been in panic mode on Tuesday and panic mode on Wednesday. But, it was a la-di-da skip to my loo, because I knew I had this meeting tonight. I printed off what I needed to go over so I could look at it to the side as well as see it on the tablet. I need to be able to, I'm a hands-on. I need to be able to touch the paper that I'm supposed to be diagramming or whatever. So, I need you guys to live down the street so we can all sit at the dining room table and go over this. But
one of the things that came to mind is something that I tweeted out earlier today when you were first talking about setting things up on your phone so that, like, reminders, hey, like, here's a time to work this, or here's time to do that. And what I tweeted out this morning was, winners make decisions that set up future solutions. And that's one of the things that you're unconsciously desiring to do, is set up future solutions. Like, hey, I don't want to keep having to remember this. I'm just going to tell my phone, hey, remind me every day at 11:35, because 11:35 to 11:41 to work on this and to refocus yourself. And that's something that I always recommend to people, and I do it plenty with my phone, is one, remind me of tasks like that, so I dedicate time to it, like for my language lessons, but also remind me of who I am, who I've declared myself to be. So randomly throughout the day, my phone will just remind me, like, hey, you are a manifester of awesomeness, you are a facilitator of glory. And I'm just like, okay, cool, and that'll snap me back. I don't want to say out of it, of where I've been, but smacked me back into
Right.
where I'm destined to be.
Is it
And
a
all that
reminder
brings me
with your-
back to that reminder that Monty gave me a while back when he said, use your phone. And I still didn't do it. Use your phone. Use your phone. And now it's like, use your phone, use your phone, use your phone. So I've gotten, that'll be done when I'm done
Kind
with
of-
this call.
What kind of phone do you have?
Android,
Okay.
Galaxy something.
Galaxy 5.
Does it have like a Siri type situation going on?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
they
got
have Google.
So you can talk to your phone and give it direction. So you don't even have to pick it up.
I know, and that pops up all the time. Ask me anything, tell me what I want to do. But I think to activate the Google on my phone, I have to be holding it. I can't just say Google
I
remind.
can set it up so that you can just blah blah blah. Yeah.
I can do it on the Google Chrome that you have in the living room. I can tell it to remind me, but with my phone, I have to open Google up.
Yeah, I can make it so that you can make your phone the primary if you want to.
Okay.
So that the stuff will go through your phone, and then only the Google Home will answer certain things like the thermostat or the time and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's so many things you can automate so that you don't have to like consciously be thinking, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, calendar reminders, pop-ups. We just put Waymakers on Calendly to do all the things in the reminders for our clients and our lead clients. So it's important to just use all your tools at your disposal so that you're not overworking and overwhelming yourself.
Right.
Making
And I'm
like
telling myself I need to work smarter, not harder.
Well, get to.
I get to.
Yeah, you get to. Like, thank God technology got really good really fast, because we all remember the dial-up internet, which was
Oh my
terrible. It was terrible.
that was before my time. Yeah.
Celine's like, you're what? Your dial
What's
what?
that?
All I know is Wi-Fi.
What do you mean? Wi-Fi wasn't always around? I don't get it. No.
No, it wasn't.
But going along with the first couple of lessons that we did, going along with like the last lesson before this one on perseverance, just so you know, you're fast becoming more supernatural than you've ever been. Like, you're fast becoming a superhero for yourself and other people.
Don't forget your
Because-
clothes.
Right. Figure out your power pose. Like the endurance that you've built up to now is only received because you chose to persist. And persistence, like we talked about on Monday, means that you did it even when it was difficult.
Right.
And it's
Even when the
you can
tough
do
got
it-
going.
right.
And
And
that
when you
was
can
so
do it when it's
difficult to do that.
difficult, you can do it forever.
Right. I think
So
that
you-
was the most difficult thing I'd had to do, except for print out my byline and stuff like that. So I've got something tonight that I've got to print out and do and send back to them. But it was like, yeah, I have to remind myself, I get to do this. I get to publish this book. I get to become a world-known author. I get to, get the Caldecott Award for my children's books. I get to. So yeah.
Part of the manifestation process is coming up with the vision, the idea, feeling into it. And then the second part is taking action, right? In faith that what you're doing is going to bring it to you, right?
Right.
But it's the time in between we stop visualizing and meditating to the point that we start doing. When you start getting into the mechanical, into the masculine, into the physical, that's when your body starts to fight against you. Like, do you really want to do that? Can you really do that? Who's going to buy? Who's going to listen? All these programs and paradigms of fear-based stories are going to show up. So it's
and then I have you in the background saying, don't go sit in your chair. Like you said on Monday, don't sit down in your chair because you're going to get comfy. And my body's going, what? So, I had some things to think about and do earlier today. And when we came back, Michael was sitting in my chair. He goes, you want me to get up? And I was like, no. I can't sit there right now. My brain is on autopilot and I've got this to do. I've got fetch receipts to do. I've got, this to do and I've got lunch to do. I was like, I can't, Celine said, I can't sit in that seat till I get my work done.
So it's time to relax because you're going to be sitting in that chair thinking about, I got to do this. So you're not even really going to relax. You're going to be in this like chaotic state. So yes, take time to relax. Yes, take time for you, right? Be what Jenna said on Monday, be gentle with yourself, right?
Right.
Be gentle, no judgment. Just forgive yourself. Oh, I forgot to do this. Let me just go ahead and do it now. Like it's, we beat ourselves up enough. We beat ourselves up enough over our whole life and, allow our thoughts to kick us in the butt, but just, be gentle. Like, okay, I didn't get it done. Bless and release, right? You can learn, okay, why didn't I do this? Like just to catch yourself if it comes up again, to learn to know what to release, but then give yourself that grace and that, okay, I get to relax now, and give yourself some tender love and care
And
throughout
that
the day.
relaxation part was so good because, like I said a couple of weeks ago, I was telling my friends and stuff when they came in to pick up their kids, write this down on your calendar. I have dusted 3 tables and I have dusted pictures and this, that, and the other. But I left those pledge wipes out so I could totally see them. And it was like the other day, it was like it said, okay, why am I still sitting here? Because there's a table that you haven't done. So it was like, shik, 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 move stuff around, moved all the orchids around, moved the lamp around. And I was moving so fast. Anderson said, Grandma, be careful that you don't break those plants. Those are your precious plants. I was on auto dust. Okay. So it's like I got the lemony pledge going on everywhere in that living room. But it was like you said, okay, I didn't do that. Well, do it now. And I did it now.
Yeah.
And that feeling after it was like, girl, you gonna put that pledge up till Saturday. You are done.
Right. And like Celine said, doing the thing as soon as you know what the thing is and how to do it is the best time, because if you don't,
Right.
then you're just going to be thinking about not doing the thing.
Right.
Like
You're
you'll
gonna
never
waste
get
all
the
this
peace
energy.
that you really think you're going to get.
Yeah.
You're not really avoiding it.
And
You're just
it's speaking to me more and more. I don't know how you guys say it, my unconscious or my subconscious is coming into the forefront, because like this morning I was getting the kids breakfast and it was like, rather than go sit back down, why don't you just go ahead and set the dishwasher and get that set up, and then that'll be done for Dylan to empty tonight. And I was like, oh yeah. So I mean, the dishwasher was set and going and done by the time I took them to school and
Yeah,
came home and went to the bank and all that good stuff. And it's like it's a different
bye.
type of feeling than the tasers of joy. It's almost like that warm fuzzy of accomplishment.
Yes,
Yeah.
when you come home, the dishes are done, or you walk in the kitchen and like it's clean. Like I could just start from scratch and start to cook instead of, oh my God, I gotta wash the dishes to wipe everything down and then cook. It's like more overwhelming feelings, right? The moment you think of it is, if you do it right, like you're taking the time to do it instead of to think, oh, I gotta do this, and then go sit down and procrastinate and feel bad because you're thinking about, I gotta do it. But and it's like, it's just causing you more stress. But when you just did it, get it out of the way, you're done, chill, relax, celebrate. Like I love that. I love how you're switching and flipping the switch and making that change. That is like very impressive. I commend you 100%.
Yay.
Yeah, I had to laugh out loud when I walked in that living room. I was like, you can't sit down in that chair. You can't sit down in that chair. It was like, if you sit down in that chair, she's gonna say it in Spanish and you're not gonna know what she's saying. She said you couldn't sit down in that chair.
Right.
No te puedes sentar hasta que
You
te
just send a recorded message to my phone. Send a recorded message to my phone. You can't sit down in that chair.
No te puedes sentar hasta que no termines el trabajo, okay?
I got it. I got it. I got it.
That reminds me though of, one of the drops that says there's people around you available. There are people available that can help you ensure your success, but it's up to you to access them. And like every time you're saying yes to yourself, you're choosing to access more parts of yourself,
Right.
more parts of your brain, more parts of your joy, more parts of your satisfaction. And all these like little steps, like it seems minute to some people. They're like, oh, well, it's just the dishes, or oh, it's just paperwork, or it's just this. But really, when we look at the aspects of our life like that, especially the aspects that we chose, we're really saying, oh, well, we're just not good enough yet. We just don't matter enough to take care of this. But when you do, you're just like, oh, I'm important. I'm valuable. I'm smart. I'm still progressing. I'm still learning. And then the people around you, like you said, when HasMark hears back from you ASAP, they're just like, all right, cool. And that jump starts them, because everybody wants to work with somebody that is willing.
Right.
That is willing.
And that reminds me too, because like with the branding stuff that I have to do now, one of the things that Danielle always puts at the end of that, if you hit a snag, don't hesitate to text me. Don't hesitate to email me. Now, with her being in Portugal and me being here, there's a different time zone, but as soon as she sees it, she responds. Because I procrastinated that week that I was sick, and I did not save the branding stuff that she sent me. So when I went back to go get it, my tablet was like, what'd you want? Oh, and I clicked on it and it said, oh, this transfer has expired. These files are no longer here. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
And I seriously had to eat humble pie. And I texted her and I said, I am so sorry that I did not force myself to do this when I was sick, but these files are no longer available. Could you please send them to me at your earliest convenience? And I went on about my day, and something said during a snack time or something, check your email, and there it was. Oh man, to the hell yeah. I went and got those things done and got them printed out so that I could see them and go through it and sit here and answer those questions and everything and start that, because it was I was freaking out. And she was like, it's okay. I understand when you were sick. And so many of HasMark people had that same bug that I had, and it just, I don't know, it like set up a flare or something of, that's why you need to do it then, not later.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
that happens with me.
sometimes it's way more difficult later.
Well,
you
let
know?
me say just one thing. It costs you more money and time to procrastinate when you know what you want to do. Like, I have people that were thinking about buying last year, and now the rates are double, triple what they were. It's costing them a lot more money today. My sister waited to buy the house she's in a year, and it cost her twice as much. So it costs, and then like what happened with you, right? Now you had to go back and ask for it again, and then you had to wait for it, and now you're thinking about it, and now you're feeling bad, and it's like this, like, but you were sick, right? So there's a balance in it too. You can't expect, and don't be hard on yourself, right? It's like, okay, I was sick, have grace, allow yourself to be sick, forgive yourself for, even if you're not sick, if you didn't do something, don't condemn yourself. Just say, you know what? I will make a decision again, like decide, right? I'm gonna just change a course, back on track, and let's go. Without any of the hard feelings and bad feelings attached to it. Because, we are what we feel we are, what we believe we are, right? So that's why it's also important to create a very crystal clear image of who you are. Your self-image, right?
And printing out these papers was really good because it says Terry Bird, author. So I get to look at that, author.
Published author, yes.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, and then New York Times bestseller, best-selling author.
Amazon
right?
Book of the Year.
But start writing that down now and start feeling as if it's already done, right? And the other I am statements, like, I am an action taker. I take inspired action. I give myself a command and I do it. Those I am statements that you want to be reminded of to really make it in, to even, like you said, put it more into your subconscious mind so that it goes on autopilot all the time. And then it becomes an effortless way of doing things. You just get up and you automatically just start getting in, which you already are. Like, I can already see a lot of changes in you. So it's just continuing on that trajectory to raise your level awareness, but also of accomplishment, because yes, you've accomplished a lot and there's still a lot more to do and accomplish. And that's okay. Like, celebrate where you are.
Right.
To take your hand and pat yourself on the back. Like, you've done a fabulous job.
I did it. I did it. I did it. And then I got fantastic. Oh, it was like a waterfall rushing over me today. And I know you guys have seen the studies where they say when you see water and you feel water, someone sent a video of a waterfall from their vacation. And just looking at that water, and I was like, oh my gosh, that peacefulness, that restfulness. Even with the kids sitting right there, I was looking at it. They were having their snack. But it just rejuvenated me so much. And I was like, I need that peace. I need that time off. One of my parents came in today and said, you know what? We're going to be gone for spring break. I was like, what? They said, yeah, we're going on vacation for spring break. So I've got 4 kids gone for spring break. I'm going to be closed. I'm going to be closed.
Do something.
Closed.
Go by the water.
And the goal is that while I'm closed, my rejuvenation will probably be, I don't know, speaking at a library, speaking at a daycare center, and not have to rush back because I have the kids or have to take the kids. And then my honey and I going out for a lunch. Done
Nice.
deal. Done deal.
And those types of things are not a coincidence, because months back when we started designing and you started thinking about your ideal and what would you do with your day and what would be great and what things bring you joy. Now, just a handful of months later, you have those choices, because your present is the direct correlation of the past that you chose to impress. Like, I'm going to focus on these feelings and these thoughts and these things I'm declaring over my life. I'm claiming them as my own. And then a few short months later, God does his little zhuzh. And next thing you know, now the world looks different. Now the world's looking at you different because you chose to look at yourself different. And that's one of the great things about superhero training is you're looking at yourself different, not the world.
Right.
You're not expecting the world to change.
Oh yeah, the world.
I wasn't focusing on myself because I was focusing on, okay, I've got 2 kids that are going to be gone from one family. They're going to be gone during spring break, but I still have the other 3. Okay, well then 2 of the other 3 came in and said, we're not going to be here for spring break. And it was like, it was a good thing I was sitting down on the floor. I couldn't get up and jump because as of yet, I'm not moving as fast as I want to. It's a work in progress. And I just kind of sat there and smiled and kept working on the plant because we were repotting some plants. That was a part of our, horticulture for the day and how to do and da. And the minute that Dad walked out that door, I was like, oh yeah, I'm closed. I'm going to close that one child family, have to make preparations. I'm closed. And then I just started planning out what I was going to do. So I can now call these centers and give them a date and say, because my book would launch on the 21st and that's the 30th, that of the end of March, the first week of April, that they're going to be gone. I got time to promote myself.
Yes.
Sweet. Yeah. See what happens when you agree with the greatest version of things? The greatest version of things agrees right back because they're on the same exact frequency. Right. That's why, Celine, and we're always really emphasizing your feelings, because as soon as you find those things that give you those feelings, the more you do them, the more you're on that radio station of the ooh yes. And you're like, oh, I'm just going to live on the ooh yeah station. And, ooh yeah things happen on the ooh yeah station.
You get on the same frequency of your desires.
Yeah.
Yeah, it made a big difference,
And that's a big part of being supernatural or becoming a superhero, is being more than expected, because you look at the situation for what it was and then decided that you prefer a different version. Yeah. And slow bit by bit, because even, we've done these lessons these last few weeks, but they haven't seemed like a lot of effort. You've just accepted them into you, and now you're just moving a lot faster than ever.
Yeah. And when I wasn't on that same path, which was Monday, coming out of the 2 weeks of being sick, It was like, I really don't want to meet. I really don't want to meet. I really don't want to meet. But my spirit man was going, but you need to, but you need to, but you need to. And I got so much out of that. You know, I came away from that hour as myself, as my superhero self. I was, you know, it was like arising from the ashes, you know, like the Bible says, he turns beauty to ashes to beauty. So it's like, hey, you know, that slump was just like, oh man, she's back. So it's been
I
good. I've got
learn,
things.
yes, and I want to emphasize what you did there is that you listened to your intuition. You listened to what you needed. And like our body knows, right? It's just our program paradigm wants to tell us, hey, you're sick. It's okay. Stay in bed. Like you need rest. And you did need rest. But it would have taken you longer to get through it, probably, than jumping on the call on Monday. You would have still been kind of, it would have been lingering longer. So
Yeah.
listening to our intuition, see, there's two ways to learn from, right? Pain or love. Love meaning following your heart, your intuition. So you listen to your intuition. So that's good. So our intuition is so powerful and so strong, and it guides us and it leads us in the direction that we need to go. The path of least resistance, the path to getting what we want faster, sooner, effortless than the painful way. The painful way, not only does it hurt, it's more work, more stressful, more frustration, and
More
it's
time.
not worth it. It costs,
Yeah, you're right. More time.
and it costs more money because you're not in your end state as fast as you would if you follow your intuition.
Right.
So
Yeah, it
definitely,
made a big difference. And you know, I don't know. Once my husband started getting his Social Security last September, that was when it started. And it was coming at a certain time at the end of the month, around like the 20th, 21st, something like that. So, you know, that's when we were expecting it. And it's not that we had to do anything this month. But when I got up this morning, he was like, yeah, you need to go ahead and pay that credit card down. And I was like, okay, well, I'll do that on Friday when I get paid. He goes, no, you can do it today. My Social Security came and I was like, huh? Because it was, as Milan would tell us, unexpected checks in the mail. Unexpected checks in the mail. I mean, and granted, there's stuff that we've got to do, but I don't know. It just seemed weird that it was earlier than expected, and you know, I don't know.
let's celebrate those. You know, this is what Milan was saying, like when you got on a frequency and now everything is just coming to you. And
Yeah.
this is a
You've
law of
become
attraction.
more attractive than ever.
Yes. The law of attraction, which reminded me of I was going to do a video about it. I'm gonna write it down before I forget.
That when those coincidences happen, you know, you were like, well, that was quicker than expected. You know, when you get caught off guard in those moments, I think it's worth taking a second look at that. It's like, okay, well, what else is this situation really saying to me? I think it's saying that gifts can't wait to come to you. Money can't wait to come to you. Money is so excited to come to you, it comes early.
What
Gifts
you're
and good
is
things.
you.
Yeah, all the gifts and the good things that you want you so bad, they come early.
Right.
Like your
And
Amazon Prime said 2 days and it comes in the morning. Like it's
right. And even with my work, I had a parent to interview a couple of weeks ago to take a Friday parking slot for his daughter, which turned out to be more beneficial for me, I think, than it was for him, because it was a seed planter, and I'm just downright giddy about it. And I thought about it, and I was, well, it'll give Anderson someone to be with on Friday, but you know what? She's still going to be a couple of years younger than him, and mindset and this, that, the other. And it was kind of like a prayer, Father, your good and perfect will be done. If I'm supposed to take this child, they'll call back and they'll say, we want a spot. If I'm not supposed to have this child, they'll call back and say, you know, we thought about it, we love you, but financially it's not going to work out, yada, yada, yada. I got that phone call today. I would love to have my child with you, but the fact that you won't have a spot during the summer when I need places for two, and I did my books and everything, which is what I should have done before I came to you. I'm not going to be able to afford it. I was happy about not having that Friday spot because I foresee my Fridays being busy with Hasmark, with
Beautiful.
promotions and speaking engagements and stuff like that. So, but the flip side of that was he works for one of the wealthiest families in Michigan, the Balkumas. You've heard of them, Milan, right? Balkuma? Okay.
Oh, yes.
Anyway,
Yeah.
okay. Trash and compost and all that stuff. Anyway,
Right.
he he runs the aid care for Balkuma Senior. And I was like, well, that's really weird that you do that because when I retire in September, I'd like to go from kids to geriatrics and maybe be a companion for a senior or whatever. He said, what? And I said, a companion for a senior. He said, that's what you want to do. And I was like, yeah. He goes, how soon do you want to start? He goes, because I have the perfect families to set you up with.
Mhm.
And let's examine that for a second. That means that your solution is waiting for you up ahead.
But yes,
It's waiting for you.
yeah. And I
Like-
said, just part-time. I don't want to do it full-time. He says, well, how do you feel about maybe driving a senior to a doctor's appointment? I would love it. He goes, log my number in. I've got yours logged in. Call me when you're ready. And he says,
Yeah.
well, how do you? I said, I know the Balkumas. And he goes, how do you mean you know them? And I says, well, Joel, one of the grandsons, used to work with my husband or works at Target with my husband. I said, Jonathan Balkuma lives next door, and I've met his mom, Sue, and his brother. He goes, wait. John lives next
You're
to
Terry?
you. And I was like, yeah. And he was like, seriously. I was like, seriously. White truck, white car. Jonathan Balkuma has a sister that's a nurse at Bronson Hospital. His mom's name is Sue. He goes, get out. Done deal. I want my daughter to come to you. But his finances didn't work out. But he wasn't here for daycare. He was here for my future goal.
Yeah. Hashtag say yes to yourself.
You would
Hashtag manifestation from kids to geriatrics. Yep.
right.
Yep.
You attracted all of it to you. See, this is the thing. Creation starts here. And then
Yeah.
heart, believing it with faith, and then waiting joyously for it to arrive. And you just enjoy the peace and the freedom that's like feeling it now as if it's already done, brings it like that. And that's what you
I was blown. I was like, that was some fast manifestation. I was talking about September. He was like, keep my number. I got yours.
Yeah. And think about like all the accomplishments and greatness you'll be bringing into that relationship by September.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
your tax bracket will be doubled. Like your influence and your impact will be tripled.
Right.
Like, you know,
And his daughter will get one of my signed books. Hey.
there you go.
Right.
And he gonna tell somebody else because they're gonna want a book, but they're gonna have to buy it off of Amazon or from Barnes and Noble.
And who knows, maybe he knows somebody that wants to interview you and spotlight you, and it just
Yeah.
goes on and on.
Good morning, America. Oh, snap.
Yes.
Which-
Start
which
imagining,
brings me-
visualizing yourself there.
Which brings me to, because next week is going to be the last lesson 4 in superhero training. Good enough is not good enough.
Right.
And, you know, it's because success is not a place. It's the pursuit of it all.
Right.
And it's the constant, like scripture says, the going from glory to glory to glory to glory. And, you know, none of us, not internal, external, blood, water in our muscles, ideas, none of it's supposed to be stagnant. You know, some of the most dangerous things in life are stagnant. Stagnant blood, stagnant water, it's dangerous.
Supposed to keep circulating and moving.
Right. So
growing.
we'll be talking about, you know, that growth, being perpetually dissatisfied enough to keep going, and, you know, how movement and those things really serve us into, you know, our superness.
I agree. 100%.
I saw you claim that under your breath with the the Today Show.
Yes, write it down, visualize
Yeah.
it, see it. And the feeling that goes with that, the energy.
Right, the
Yeah,
feeling of
'cause-
looking off camera and seeing dad smile at you right before they say, like, "All right, we're gonna go live in 2 minutes, Terry."
I just thought of something, and it has nothing whatsoever to do with the Today Show. That's great, and I will be there. But up at Oakwood Plaza, where Treat Street and all that is, they just opened a book bug, and
Yeah.
they're always looking for new authors to bring their
Local.
books in.
Local.
Local. Oh, snap.
See what happens when you get on that frequency? Ideas start coming in.
Oh, snap.
Right. Ideas of greatness.
Write it down so you don't forget.
Your book at the book bug.
Oh, snap.
That sounds like a good Friday afternoon gig.
Parents take their kids to Treat Street, then they walk off the sugar and go down to the book bug, and they see newest neighborhood author, and this little hey, it's gonna be right there. Oh, to the MG.
Yes. Start setting in motion. See, you start setting in motion the moment you connect with the frequency and you bind with it. Like you just become one with
That
it.
frequency is so high right now. I hear it in my ears.
Cool.
I do. I hear a soft.
That's the synchronicity. That's where it's at. That's where the magic is.
Yeah, that ultimate fluidity that Celine was talking about with that brain heart coherence of just,
Mhm.
hey, I know exactly what's mine and I agree with it.
I get on the same frequency and I stay there. Stay there.
Oh my gosh. I am blown.
So-
I am literally blown.
So next time your vibe goes down a little bit or you just feel out of sync, just do the heart brain coherence. So just, close your eyes, put your hand on your heart, start inhaling and exhaling very, very slow, and start being grateful for everything, anything, and just connect to that. 3 minutes minimum will give you an effect that lasts 6 hours. So right now, this is going to last you, because you got there on your own, in this call, but if we're not on a call, this is something you could do. And that energy will stay with you for at least 6 hours. So continue.
Oh my goodness. I am ready to scream, but I'm not gonna.
Ending story.
See, when you're like this is time to take action because you're inspired. Like action could be writing it down, writing the feeling, even like recording your voice with this moment, just to
That's what I was going to say,
capture.
is just record and start declaring when you're feeling this way. Like that's the true power right there.
Calling things into being. I see myself at the name of the store, and I'm there with the kids and the parents, and I'm just enjoying it, and everybody's congratulating me, loving and buying my books, and I'm signing them if they're ready by then, just like, and even if they're not, you can go back, like just create what you want to create right now, because you're in the creative zone. You're
Yeah,
in that frequency.
yeah.
And
You're in
it's
that moment where the five fish and loaves fed the 5,000. You're in the moment. You're in that zone.
5,000 is just how many books I'm gonna sell in the first month.
Yeah,
Oh, I love that. Oh,
that's
yeah.
just the people that already know you.
Mhm.
5,000.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Because certain people, they're gonna buy a boatload of copies just cause.
Yeah.
Feel
Yeah.
into that and hold that image, hold that feeling, the celebration. How are you going to see the sales? Imagine that, like, where's it going to come through, and that you're celebrating and you're telling, like, everyone. And we're going to come on here and you're going to tell us, and we're going to be like,
Right. Hold up your phone. And it says like 8875. That's how many books have sold so far.
yeah.
And I'm here to tell you, when you get those revenue checks from your publisher, it's pretty sweet.
Yeah, that was the first thing they wanted to do. Let's set up a bank account to receive all of this money. And I love the way they worded it.
Yeah,
I love the way they worded it. And that was early on. That was like right after I wrote the Dear Money. They were
Yeah.
like, hey, well, we need somewhere to put this. So can you send us an account? We want to
Nice.
set that up first,
yeah,
because you've got stuff royalties from this book and the other book, and they put the augmented reality in the book so parents can scan something with their phone and that lion might go. I can't wait to see what that augmented reality does. That's going to be awesome.
nice.
I can't wait to buy them for my nieces and nephews.
Awesome sauce.
Love it. Well, we are
Right.
out of time. This is a great
We're out of
place
time
to
again.
end. Continue.
Yeah, that's a great ended on a great spot. I didn't even think about BookBug. And now I've seen all 4 of the books, 3 of the bookstores. I've seen all
Yeah.
3 of the bookstores.
There
I'm
you
gonna go see them all.
Right. And just start claiming it, claim and you shall receive.
give
Yeah.
thanks, gratitude increases faith like nothing else.
Yes.
Just being grateful for it and receiving it in your imagination and in your heart, it's already done. It's just gonna show up in the physical. You just gotta wait for it. Joy with
Yeah.
joy and expectation.
Yes. Wow.
We will
Wow.
see you Monday, and I will see you sometime sooner.
Yeah, I'll give you a call tomorrow or whatever. And I got some stuff to write down tonight and to look over. So I know I won't call you back tonight, but